Are you looking to get on the road to your dream career? You're in the right place. Welcome to the Mentor Select Podcast with your host, Derek Phillips. Always stay up to date on social media at Mentor Select and online at mentorselect.com. Here's your host of the Mentor Select Podcast, Derek Phillips.
Welcome to episode 74 of the Mentor Select Podcast. I am your host, Derek Phillips. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the Mentor Select Podcast with all your friends and family, anyone you feel can benefit from high-quality virtual mentorship. I hope that each of you had a very Merry Christmas. I sure did. The Phillips home was filled with love, joy, Christmas music, good food, presents. Santa brought me everything I wanted. It was my daughter's first Christmas legacy. She got everything that she wanted. And hopefully my beautiful wife got everything she wanted as well. But most of all, we just enjoyed spending the holiday together, just enjoying each other's presence and just showing just how grateful we are to be here for another Christmas. That's the most important thing. Being blessed to still be here with your friends and family, that's invaluable. Well, Mentor Select has one more gift for you all. My phenomenal interview today with Masako Mai is just so uplifting and inspiring. Masako, she is a coach. She hosts a show called Hit Like a Girl on Facebook Live every Tuesday. Also, she is a minister, and she recently opened a financial services company in addition to being an author and a former boxing world champion, undefeated. So y'all are in for a real treat today. So let's get to the interview with Masako Mai. Today, we have Masako Mai on the Mentor Select Podcast. How are you, Masako?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really thrilled that we're finally able to connect. I've been really excited to share your story with the Mentor Select listeners.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. You know, I feel like we can all go further than we had anticipated in life when we have the support of others.
Most definitely through connections, networking, collaborating, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. And in addition to that, when, you know, sometimes people in life, they don't even realize that they have a network or they haven't collaborated with anyone. So I find that it's important right where you are in your own household, in your own school, on your own sports team, to believe with those people that you are already connected with. I find oftentimes people try to go outside of their natural circle to find someone that would believe in them when in fact they have it right where they are.
Yep.
And they need to believe in those lives that surround them every day.
Yep. Right before our eyes.
Yeah. And the challenging thing is like, how do we do that when you're raised in a household where children are raising children?
Mm.
How do you have those conversations where you're like, you know what, my children and my children's children, they're going to have a different future? Who's sowing into the lives of the people who nobody sowed into? So children having children. That's why I say it's important for our teachers, the grocery store clerks, the police officers, the mailmen, to always be positive, serve with a smile, and really have joy in your heart. I mean, we're breathing. Why not smile and encourage one another with a nod, or with a have an amazing day, with a wow, you look amazing. That is support in itself. Just by recognizing the individual that is standing next to you is alive and breathing. Give them well wishes.
I love that and totally agree. It doesn't take a lot. Just the small things go really far.
Absolutely. They say the small things make the big thing.
I agree. So Masako, on the Mentor Select Podcast, we like to get to know our guest mentors better. Do you mind sharing something with us that most people don't know about you?
I got my first degree in mathematics, and I ran 2 nightclubs, 2 of the largest nightclubs in Washington, D.C. What people don't know, because of the situation when I was a full-time college student and I worked, I also mentored a group of young women and men that wanted to become models. So I had runway fashion shows monthly where I brought in major designers and photographers and taught them to market themselves and gave them the pictures as well as paid them a salary to walk the runway.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. I know the listeners can't see you right now, but you don't look like the typical mathematician.
I know. I don't. I'm in a constant state of right brain, left brain. It's interesting.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Certainly. Well, Masako, on the Mentor Select podcast, we encourage our listeners to follow their passions because we believe it will ultimately lead them to their dream career. Can you tell us how you're following your passions?
Well, I have a show called Hit Like a Girl with Masako Mai, where the hit, it represents our unique qualities that we've been blessed with. I call it's our purpose, but many people may not recognize it to be their purpose. So with Hit Like a Girl, we recognize those unique qualities that people are utilizing within their communities that would further impact the world. That's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about my show on Tuesdays, Hit Like a Girl with Masako Mai.
All right. And how can people view that show?
You can view it on Facebook Live at Hit Like a Girl with Masako Mai, and the episodes are on demand. So if you don't catch it on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, you could go on the page and watch all of the shows. All
right. Yeah, I had an opportunity to check out an episode earlier. It's pretty energetic and entertaining, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this Tuesday show, we were coming off, how to get over a broken heart and find the love of your life. Being that it's the holidays, I found everyone I was encountering, they were pondering why they weren't good enough or why someone didn't choose them. And I was like, be in celebratory mode. Right. If you truly believe why we're here on earth and that the creator of heaven and earth lives on the inside of you because you were made in that image, be grateful for those people that cannot continue on your journey with you, because that means they're not for you. Right. And I just find the quicker that we are to be in a state of gratitude to say, oh my God, I'm so glad I found out that wasn't the one, that we could move forward. So it really touched my heart to be able to speak on that, because that broken heart comes from that dysfunction, comes from that child that did not have a support team. Yeah. Which is what we spoke about earlier at the beginning of the broadcast.
Right.
With you just now.
Just now, today.
Yeah.
You touched on something important as far as with the holidays, or things a time for people to be really joyous. But in reality, a lot of people are even more depressed during the holidays. And it's a high time period where people commit suicide. I actually had a friend whose son committed suicide recently. And they just share like some statistics where people commit suicide a lot during the holidays because they're depressed or for whatever reason.
It's a level of expectation there. We had a female veteran that committed suicide. Like, I hear about them take their life into their own hands often. And it just goes back to my mission to be a Holy Spirit ambassador, to hold the mirror up to everyone that I encounter, to show them who God says that they are. You're beautiful, you're redeemed, you're excellent, you're chosen, you're strong, you're unique. Just things that people need to recognize. And if we would pay more attention to living our best life daily, celebrating daily, then I find that we wouldn't try to gap these moments in time where people are supposed to be celebrating. But in my life, when I think about the holidays, there has been a lot of tragedy that has happened with regard to deaths of loved ones, sicknesses, et cetera, et cetera. But I like to focus on the capacity at which I had them in my life. I'm grateful for having them in my life. So I'm joyous because it reminds me of the opportunity that we shared. And I believe when we could change our mindset to a state of gratitude for the moments that we share with people that are momentous, that we will not get sad, but, we'll in fact have a state of gratitude that we had that time to share with one another. And that's why we just have to look out for one another and really encourage one another, smile, really ask someone how they're doing if you want to know, touch somebody. We're all connected. We're all connected.
I totally agree. And for me, I can relate to that because I lost my mom 3 years ago. She died at the age of 52. And when I think about her memory, it's more so I think about the positive times, the good times, and the memories she left, just the impact she made while she was here, not dwelling on, oh, she's gone. Of course, I miss her. But when I think of her, it's more positive, it's more happy thoughts just because of what she did while she was here.
Absolutely. And we're not intended to stay here. Death is guaranteed. That's why it's so important. What are we doing while we are here? We are reflective of one another, as each and every one of us is a reflection of God's face. When we could stand together and truly see that God in each and every one of us, to encourage one another, not to react based on a moment in time where someone made a stupid decision, but to truly see them for who they're supposed to be, to speak life into them. Could you imagine the way
Wow.
the world would change?
It'd be amazing. I would love to see that change. Now, you mentioned as far as with your show Hit Like a Girl about the importance of purpose. Can you elaborate more on just how important it is to find your purpose?
It's important for us to find our purpose because oftentimes we are already functioning in our purpose. Like, so things that you do naturally, sometimes it feels like people are using you because they want that from you so much.
Right.
But when we look at it in a sense like, wow, this is my purpose, this is my gift to the world, the energy behind it changes it. And you truly become wealthy from giving. And so for me, being raised in a household with 6, I'm the middle of 6, I am the helper, right? My mom says that she knew when she was carrying me that I am the dependable one. I could always be depended on. And throughout my life, I have adapted the nickname the Good Samaritan because I literally will stop on the road to help my brother and sister. And we're all brothers and sisters, and I've been around the world. That is my new unique ability to be able to stop and help someone get to where they're going and then be put right back in position where I'm supposed to be. And
Right.
I find that when we're able to recognize those gifts within us, stop feeling like we're being used and manipulated and start giving it away. And that comes with understanding. That comes with knowing God, knowing your higher purpose, whatever you call him, because God is love.
Right.
Knowing that all great things come from this. So it's important to know your purpose because when you know you cannot be used, you cannot be abused, you know that people want this from you because this is what you were birthed to give.
Yep. Why you're here. And I notice the more I give, the more I receive in terms of just the act of giving is so rewarding, so fulfilling. So once you give without expecting anything in return, it's just amazing. All the things that happen in your life and how you impact others and impact you in return.
Yeah, I believe the disconnect may be with the lack of self-love. And I coach on this a lot. Self-care is the best care. Your number one love is the love that you have for yourself. How you care for yourself, exercising, hydration, your conversations that you're having with yourself, the conversations you allow others to have with you. Mm-hmm. Because when you're madly in love with you, nobody could tarnish that. Nobody. And so when you're madly in love with you, the heavens open up and you have abundance and prosperity. And it's so much easier to have generosity at that point. But it comes with knowing and understanding that you are absolutely loved in itself. And you must embrace that with yourself.
That is so true. My uncle used to always say that self-preservation is a law of nature. And I always remember that. You have to take care of yourself first, and you love yourself, then you can love others fully.
Yes.
So
yes.
True.
But it's when you're lacking self-love that you get pulled on and it feels draining.
Indeed. Now, back to the name of your show, Hit Like a Girl. Is that kind of like a play on when you were in the boxing world?
Well, interesting enough. So I am a world champion boxer, and the idea of the title Hit Like a Girl came from a project that I was working on with Glory Media and Zolly.
Okay.
Zolly Creations, which happens to be located here in the Bishop Arts District. Mason Minor and Joshua Swanson.
Okay.
So we were doing a promo for Zolly, Hit Like a Girl. And so we did, I went back into the boxing ring with R&R Boxing and I did some training and we got some footage. And so from the promo to go around the world to encourage women to hit like a girl, because we all know girls are relentless. We don't stop.
Right.
We're going to get what we want. We birth nations.
Absolutely.
Like, we are queen. It's like when I was young, when I grew up, I wanted to be a king. And I'm like, well, on the chessboard, the queen wins. So, and so it actually it went hand in hand because of my history of being a world champion, undefeated boxer.
Okay.
and the promo that we wanted to do to reach out to women globally, wherever there is a cell tower, that these women would be able to get the message. You're important. Hit like a girl. You matter.
Love it. That's great. Hey, you also mentioned earlier about a veteran committed suicide. Do you have any experience in the military?
I do. I'm a veteran. My father is a veteran, and I'm born on his birthday. I was an intel analyst.
Oh, cool.
So it goes hand in hand with who I am with regard to, me being a helper and me enriching lives, because as an analyst, I do target analysis, and I'm able to assess the situation and give the orders on what's the best avenue of approach with regard to the information that is either there to see with plain eye or developed through data collected.
Very useful skill.
Yeah.
In all aspects of life.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
How long did you serve in the military? And what branch?
Army.
Army strong.
Army strong. 6 years.
Cool. All right. Well, fellow Army vet myself, served 4 years. So certainly really appreciate your service.
And I appreciate your service.
What else do you have going on in the Masako Mai world?
Well, here recently, I opened a financial planning service. It's like I went back to my first love, mathematics. I always studied the market as a child. And so right now I'm focusing on generational wealth, helping people educate themselves on what it is to build wealth. And I find that the interesting thing is when you don't have a history of it, it's challenging, because just like when I said, when you grow up in situations where no one supported you, no one spoke life into you, no one encouraged you, when you don't believe that you're worthy of leaving a legacy for the generations to come, you're just not ready to have those conversations. So there are a lot of people being left out of the conversation because they just can't fathom that they're worth having a legacy. And so with the generational wealth building, it starts with life insurance. And whatever is on your life, people are saying that is what you are worth right now. So if you have a $1.5 million life insurance policy on you, that's what you're worth. So if you don't have anything on you,
that's what you're worth too.
That's what you're worth,
Zero.
And so it's just, it's interesting, being in this life that we live with educating people. Some are willing to be educated. Some recognize that they have value, and even God spoke of it,
So what do you think is the biggest hurdle for those people who are having trouble as far as having a conversation about generational wealth and financial planning?
Believing that they're worthy.
Okay.
The belief that they are worthy of having something. I say there's two types of people I like to work with: those that love themselves and those that love others. If you don't love yourself and you don't love nobody else, then, you're basically occupying space on earth.
Yeah. It sounds like it boiled down to that mindset.
Yeah. All we can do is be examples, speak positivity into people, pray for our brothers and sisters, for our world leaders, and continue to move forward. Because with the climate right now, politically, it's like going into a boxing match if you're not a trained fighter, because it's the science of boxing. When you know the science of boxing, you know that it's strategic. And you see your opponent and you know what way they're going to move. You know where to hit them, how to hit them. You know how to cause them to collapse. But when you are not a strategic fighter, like most people appear to be with regard to this political climate, they're being pushed and pushed to the edge, and their focus is being taken off of what's most important. And so they're fighting. And when you're fighting, you can't listen and you can't understand and you can't make any changes because you're fighting the inevitability. And so just don't be distracted. My thing is, don't be distracted. And that goes back to being in a state of gratitude. I call it oxygen to the brain. When we're grateful for these situations we find ourselves in, oxygen in the brain causes us to view it from a larger perspective, like a diamond. A diamond has many facets, right? You don't look at a diamond just from one side. You look over the diamond.
Right.
You flip the diamond around. You spin it. You see
every
the
angle.
facets. Every angle. And we just have to think on on a larger perspective and not be distracted by things that others want you to be distracted by.
Okay. Well, totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. So we have your TV host, you do financial planning now, you do coaching. What else do you do?
Well, I am a journalist, and I'm a journalist. I'm
Multi-talented.
press corps. Yeah, I am God's child. I am a reflection of each and every one of you. Therefore, there is nothing you could tell me that I will not understand, because just as many things that I have great in my accolades, I have gone through many things that try to take that away from me. So know that there is much more than what you're looking at.
Right.
Anytime you find someone that is multifaceted with many accolades, know that they've gone through some things, and let that encourage you not to stop when you're going through some things, when you're meeting opposition.
Yep.
Rise and be great. And you got to be a fighter. You can't let anybody hold you down. You got to know that if you're still here on earth, there's something that you need to do, and you need to do it in excellence. So I do have 2 books. I have one that's out already, How I Met Jesus, The Early Years, and then my second book, 7 Minutes to Freedom, which actually gives you the tools to get through those moments of darkness in your life in order for you to get to the place where you're living your life on purpose.
Okay. I love the name. 7 Minutes to Freedom.
Yeah, 7 Minutes to Freedom. It's pretty awesome.
When can we expect that book? When can we get our hands on it?
Soon. You're going to be getting that. You're going to be getting that in your hands real soon. Soon.
Looking forward to it. So what was the experience writing that book?
The experience, it felt like it was like 2 years in the making. There was a lot of research done with it, research with myself, research with third-party research, client, patient, if you will, scenarios. And so it's tested. It works.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to get it into the hands of those that need it, that desire it, those that don't even recognize that they need it right now.
I say we all need it, whether people know it or
we
not.
we all need it. And so I'm working on my nonprofit right now, and because what I would love to do is be able to get it into the hands of those youth that are in situations where nobody can help them right now, outside of, the Father.
Right.
I've come to know that individuals that have gotten themselves in trouble, that are in situations where they can't go home, and if they could, they wouldn't have a home to go to, that you're not allowed to touch them. You're not allowed, you don't have anyone really speaking life into them. They really can't share food. If you don't want it, they can't have it. It just goes in the trash. So it's just it's facilitating a loneliness where you feel like you're all alone and feel like you have to fight for things that you shouldn't have to fight for.
Right. Yeah.
Which is the basic necessities of life. So I would love to, working on my foundation, to be able to get those books in the hands of those people that wouldn't be able to purchase it. Because I feel like the pain that I've experienced, I've purchased it for them. In all humility. Humility.
Yes, indeed.
But as a Holy Spirit ambassador, I believe that that's my duty. I believe that's each and every one of our duties. The first book, How I Met Jesus, The Early Years, it gives a synopsis of what I experienced as a child, and with my father becoming my angel at a young age, and me being mad at God, saying, "Why would you take my father from me?" And he came and he spoke with me, and he's been with me, saying, "I didn't take your father from you. I let you have him. But don't worry, child. You have everything that you need to be successful in life, and you will never be alone. I am your father."
Wow.
So I just share that story for people to really get an understanding of who I am at the core of me, what made me who I am today, and why I'm so passionate about assisting others in holding the mirror to them so they can see who they're created to be and live a life of excellence, no matter where you are or where you started.
That is truly your purpose. You're walking in it. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And I guess the listeners have gotten a sample of just how much of a powerful speaker you are. But I had first opportunity to hear you speak at a veterans event, and you're just so candid about your message and sharing your story, and just very powerful. So do you actually speak to other organizations? Or?
I am a speaker. You can add that to my accolades.
Oh, man, I'm running out of room on this resume.
Yes. And the interesting thing about this is because at a young age, someone told me that I needed to choose something that I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And when we're young and we choose what we want to do, a 7-year-old mind is not the same as a 20-year-old, is not the same as a 31-year-old.
Correct, right.
And it's so important for each and every one of us to know that it is okay for us to change our mind.
Yeah.
It is okay. We change. Even in relationships, people, they're approaching situations because on someone else's history, and they say they don't want to get married.
Yeah, those old
but
paradigms.
You're shacking up. I'm a minister too. So my thing is, I would love to go on tour, and then those individuals that attend my tour dates that are shacking up, to go and get their marriage license, and I will marry them at the end of the tour in that location, because the blessings that they're missing out on by just shacking up because of some brokenness. So unity is a gift from God. Like, it is awesome. You're already giving them the good. You might as well get the full benefit of being in union with one another.
Make it official.
And standing and agreeing with one another. So I'm a speaker because I speak life. I have that capacity.
Yeah.
We're made in the image of Creator of heaven and earth, right? So we create heaven and earth here in our existence. And so I have the ability to speak life. And I use that ability to speak life.
I've been a
And
recipient
so, yes, I speak.
Yes.
That's one of my things that I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about speaking.
Yeah, certainly comes across to the audience members. So I can say firsthand.
Yeah. You can't bottle me up. If you could, would you wear me around your neck? You'll wear me in a necklace?
Those scripture people have tried, but
I'm sure of it.
Can't bottle you up. So when I was on your website, MasakoMaiTraining.com, something popped out to me other than it being a phenomenal website, just the beautiful pictures and the wording. But one phrase stood out to me where it said you turn the word obstacle into opportunity. That's something I love. So can you elaborate on that more, that concept?
Yes. So I find that it goes back to being in that state of gratitude, right? Obstacles. Oftentimes you'll find in life, people will want to stand in your way due to their own lack of understanding of how we're supposed to live this life. So they want to stop you because they feel jealous of you, or, it's like constant roadblocks because they say you don't look like what's supposed to be here. Like you don't fit into my idea of what that looks like. Mm-hmm. And so instead of allowing their misconception of who God says that I am, I just turn it around and show them different. Yeah. Turn your obstacle into an opportunity. And 10 times out of 10, they end up loving me and apologizing. And then their heart has changed. And then how many people's lives have changed from their heart being changed? So I find that it's important to walk in our limitless power of excellence.
Don't give up. Don't stop.
So don't ever give up. If it's in your heart, don't ever give up.
Yeah.
Don't ever give up. That's my message. Like, don't ever give up.
Ever.
Because not everybody has good intentions for you. Right. So those obstacles I've turned into opportunities. Opportunities to look past someone's belief on what they thought should be happening and create a new storyline.
Yeah. I view it as blessings in disguise.
Absolutely. And then they're the ones that are thanking you at the end.
Indeed.
They be like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I just feel like I should.
Right.
That's God. That's the Holy Spirit interceding on my behalf. Thank you.
It is.
Because it's interesting. It is like no matter where I've gone, when I come to the table, I always say, my vision is what got me to the table. My obedience is what kept me there. Right. Mm-hmm. Because it was my vision that had to get me in the room.
Right.
And so when you sit at the table, you'll meet many characters from their own walks of life. And when we sit down and they give you what their experience is not to be taken personal by us. Their experience is simply that. Their experience. And it is none of my business what you think of me. What my business is what God the Father thinks of me.
Right.
So I'm going to let you keep thinking what you're thinking, and I'm going to show you otherwise. And then you're going to come and be like, wait a minute. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. Well,
Right.
thank you for the apology.
I accept that. And keep going. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is so true. Well, Masako, you certainly have spoken life to us over this past half hour, giving us a lot of great practical steps and just inspiration. Ooh, we can feel your passion through the.
Thank you. Purpose-driven life.
Purpose.
It is my purpose.
That's what purpose sounds like.
I enrich lives. I enrich lives, and this is what it sounds like to be living life on purpose.
Wow, you definitely do. We really appreciate you enriching our lives. But Masako, as we get ready to wrap up this interview, what would be some closing words of advice you want to leave the listeners with?
I would say, in your heart of hearts, always be thankful for every situation you find yourself in, and be absolutely madly in love with you. With you.
Yeah, yourself.
And what does that look like? Hearing the laughter in the background, recognizing the beauty in the rain, recognizing the color in the flowers that are blooming. Be in love with you. When you're in love with you, absolutely everything else is in love with you.
That is deep. I love it. I love that you explained what it looks like. What does that mean? So give us that clarity.
Yeah. It's important. It's important. The touch of love.
So, Masako, how could listeners get in contact with you?
You could get in contact me. I'm on all social media outlets, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, at Masako Mai, at Hit Like a Girl with Masako Mai. And I respond.
Okay. Yeah, you do.
I respond.
That's how we're talking now.
Yeah. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, at Masako Mai. And my show is on Tuesday, Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Hit Like a Girl with Masako Mai. And my other episodes are on demand if you're not there for it live. I love my audience, the viewers interacting with me. So if you have questions, you want to have a conversation while we're on air, type it up, call it in.
Very cool.
If you want us to address it on the show beforehand, send it in the messenger.
Cool. Because certainly when you're a Holy Spirit ambassador, you look for every opportunity to give your gift, to share it with the world.
Absolutely. It's my purpose. It's my duty.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Masako, certainly looking forward to having you back when you release 7 Minutes to Freedom, your book. We're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. That interview was truly awesome. I'm so thankful for Masako just volunteering her time to talk to the Mentor Select listeners and uplift our spirits and just remind us just how fortunate we are to be alive, to share our purpose with other people. Also, reach out to Masako and let her know what resonated with you most about the podcast interview. And don't forget to check out her Hit Like a Girl show on Facebook Live every Tuesday. It's also on demand, so if you miss an episode, can't tune in at the time, hey, check it out on demand. Catch up on all the great episodes. I watched one, and it was really good. And you can know that she's going to bring the energy every show. I'll be back next week. Until then, happy holidays.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Mentor Select podcast, helping you identify and follow your passions. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit mentorselect.com and Mentor Select on social media. If you enjoyed today's episode, please rate and review. We'll catch you next time.